That was heroic by Arsenal's 10 men on that pitch. And the start of the beginning of this game, and I know Arsenal fans are going to feel downbeat. Arsenal fans are going to feel pissed off. Arsenal fans are going to be furious that they didn't get over the line. And there's lots to talk about around referees, time added on, everything. We'll get to that, okay? But City started today's game like a ball in a china shop. In the opening 14, 15, 16 minutes, it looked as if it could be a 3 or 4-0 win for City. Arsenal were not at the races. I was in our group chats. Rivals were laughing. Look at Arsenal. They're buried. They're finished. The disrespect towards this Arsenal team has become a joke. You can't rely on set pieces. Why did you buy David Raya, etc., and 100 other things. But Arsenal stepped up. Now, there was a quirk of fate. And I want to say right now at the beginning, I really hope that Rodri's okay. I hope that his knee injury isn't severe. But those innocuous moments typically are bad. But within a second of him coming off, Arsenal equalize with the most outrageous goal from Calafiori. A quickly taken free kick. We'll get to the decision from the referee later. Wonderful approach play from Martinelli. Excellent pass back to Calafiori. Weighted it excellently. And then the shot was just perfection into the top corner. And from that point, up until the last seconds of the first half, Arsenal became the better team. Arsenal were confident. They were growing. And they go 2-1 up from another set piece. Gabriel, it was my pick for FPL, by the way. I have to do like a newsletter for a company I work with. And I just said this week, if you're going to put anyone in your team, I said maybe a clean sheet, but I said he would score from a set piece. And he did. And Arsenal go 2-1 up, and they look really comfortable. You could hear a penny drop amongst the City fans. I'm sitting back here thinking this could be a turning point for Arsenal. And then Trossard, look, I absolutely agree Doku should have been booked in the first half for delaying the restart. But what Trossard did is a second yellow card. It cannot be defended, in my opinion. What can be challenged, and maybe that's later in the show or another day, is the nonsense the PGMOL came out with a year ago about we try to keep 11 men on the pitch. We don't want to overreact. We want to keep the game entertaining for the fans type stuff. Where the fuck has that gone? But that's another conversation. Trossard didn't just flick the ball away. He went to boot it after committing a foul. It was a moment of madness from him. And you think, oh, Arsenal could be in trouble here. City come out in the second half, all guns blazing, absolutely fired up, creating, I think it was 25, 26 attempts. Most of them weren't very good. Some brilliant saves from David Raya, but it was heroic in the second half from Arsenal. Now, Arsenal fans, what you're going to get from people that don't like you or Arsenal fans that don't like your club anymore is Tony Pulis would be proud. Oh, it was harambo. Retete. Tell me what any other club does 10 men away from home against Man City. In fact, today's game was such an anomaly football-wise. It's very hard for even professional pundits and ex-players to state what the right thing to do and wasn't to do is. Now, they conceded right at the end. They pick up a point, 2 points off the top. City stay top, but 2 weeks ago, and this is why perspective is needed here, and it's why I say it's a massive point for Arsenal. This time 2 weeks ago, everyone who hates Arteta, everybody that hates Arsenal, everybody that's not objective, even some Arsenal fans, season's over. Rice is out. Odegaard's out. We've got to play Spurs. We've got Champions League. Then go away to City. We're going to end up being 8 points off the top. Season's over in September. You're sitting there 2 points off the top. City have still got to come to you in the league. And Arsenal are going to become a much better team this season. Their next 3 games, in comparison to their last few, are relatively easy. They will more than likely win them. Yes, the underlying metrics don't look good, especially after that second half of defending, shots conceded per games, but context. That was heroic. From my point of view watching, that second half was heroic from Arsenal. And look, City, they persevered. They showed their quality in the end. John Stones, one of the subs, getting that equalizer. But they will be more gutted than Arsenal. In reality, they played against 10 men for 45 minutes, had 26, 27 attempts on goal in the second half, and equalized only in the last few moments. That is a disappointment. And interestingly, He scored a goal today, Haaland, and we'll touch on that later after people said he wouldn't. But all season, outside of Haaland, City have struggled to score. And outside that opening 15 minutes where they were amazing, Arsenal took over and nullified them again. It's an area they've got to focus on. And I think the injury to Rodri, nothing that we would ever celebrate here at the Football Terrace, is not just a leveler for Arsenal. If he indeed is going to be touching wood, he isn't. If he indeed is going to be out for a long time, is a leveler for Arsenal, a leveler for Liverpool. Villa will be looking at it and thinking, ooh, have we just witnessed City become slightly more mortal than they normally are? But for me, as I say, this will be bitterly disappointing, contextually speaking, for Manchester City. They took the lead, they were dominating, and then they played against 10 men, and they struggled. And they will feel lucky in the end. Although they had all those shots, let's be honest, one good shot from Guardiola that forced a save from David Raya, it was poor from Manchester City. It really, really was. But I think Arsenal should feel proud of that second half performance. You're well in this title race. I think you're proving yourself as a top team. And what will happen, anyone whose general disposition is to be negative will talk about the second half and maybe we should have attacked more and left another player up. We don't know what we don't know, but everybody is entitled to opinion, of course. But remember, anyone who's saying Arsenal were a bad team and can't attack, they dominated the majority of the first half at the Etihad. They didn't have most of the ball, but that isn't dominating a game. They had brilliant chances. They were dangerous. They were 2-1 up. So all this nonsense about Arsenal being a bad team and they're going to fall off this year, I think people have just got to drop the pretense and say what it is. They're a top outfit indeed. But overarching, this was nothing short of a wonderful, brilliant, fantastic game of football that I thoroughly enjoyed from start to finish. Now, on the referee, I've mentioned I'll start with Trossard. It was a red card. It wasn't a little flick. He boots the ball away. And I understand Doku should have been booked in the first half. There were multiple players. I tweeted about it yesterday that delayed restarts yesterday and didn't get booked. So I completely and utterly understand the frustration Arsenal fans have got with the lack of inconsistency, but it was certainly a red card. The first goal Arsenal scored, I know City fans are frustrated that Kyle Walker was pulled out of position and he wasn't given time to get back into position before the game was restarted. I see the argument, but equally, I'm looking at it and thinking, well, why is Kyle Walker not sprinting to get back into position? So I think there's a bit of 6 of one and half a dozen of another there. Time added on, I actually think there should have been maybe more than 7 minutes. There was a lot of time wasting from Arsenal. And by the way, that shows great maturity from them in that second half. Outside of that, I get people calling things out. I don't think the referee got... Again, what you can call out is PGMOL's inconsistencies. Talking about we want to keep 11 men on the pitch, didn't do it today. Why are they not giving everybody that delays a restart a yellow card? They gave Jesus one at the end, but his boot had come off. You can't restart a game while players on the pitch with their boot off. It's one of those weird situations again where you think, well, you're going to give him a booking because he kicked the ball away. But he was trying to point out that, no, don't let him restart. My boot's off. You're not allowed to. You're not actually. It's the rules. Games have to be stopped if a player's boots are off. So it's all these little things that I get. And I think City fans will be angry with some decisions today. I think Arsenal fans will be as well. And of course, we want to hear from you in the comment section. 7 minutes, minutes turned into wait until they score. Yeah, but do you know why it went beyond that? And this is where I'm going to defend the referee slightly on this one. Is when the board went up to say how many minutes were being added on, there was like a minute or two delay. And that has to be added on. You can't just delay those minutes. Arsenal need to start a youth league and pay the rest 30k for a game. Joke crew, Doku, something, no card, Trossard off.